In the past, people thought that China was one of the countries with the most serious desertification in the world, with about 1/3 of its land area affected by desertification. But a recent photo taken from a space perspective has shocked people. In this photo, you will find that the degree of greening in China has increased significantly compared with 20 years ago. As far as I know, China has created a green area equivalent to 1/4 of the Amazon rainforest. Over the past 40 years, China has planted more than 66 billion trees in desert areas, an achievement that has astonished the world. This makes people wonder, how did China plant so many trees in the desert? How have these trees changed the large deserts in China? China has been suffering from desertification for a long time. According to the results of the National Desertification Census conducted by the Ministry of Forestry of China in the 1990s, the total area of desertification areas in China is 1.714 million square kilometers, accounting for approximately 17.85% of the country's total land area. This trend has continued to expand and rise since then. In 2000, the desert in mainland China was expanding by 10,400 square kilometers every year, which is equivalent to occupying 1/3 of the area of Taiwan, China. As of 2015, China's desertification area has reached 2.62 million square kilometers, accounting for 27% of the country's land area. It can be seen that the situation of desertification in China is already very serious. However, China did not choose to let it go. Because China understands that only by controlling the source can we fundamentally and completely solve the problem of desertification. So, what specific actions has China taken to control deserts? In fact, since the 1950s, China has officially included environmental protection as an important national process. During this period, China used a large amount of private power, especially in Ningxia, Shaanxi, and Inner Mongolia. Countless Chinese citizens have spontaneously added strength to China. In major desert areas in China, there are specially organized groups of people to participate in desert control activities. Many members have dedicated the most precious time of their lives to the cause of planting trees and controlling deserts, making great contributions to China's environmental protection. As China's awareness of environmental protection continues to strengthen, China's large-scale afforestation efforts have also continued to increase. In order to better promote afforestation and greening, China's Greening Committee has also launched more forms of tree planting, so that all Chinese people can participate in the task of greening the environment in their own way. After years of hard work, the desert area has been reduced by more than 2,400 square kilometers every year. Among them, the management of the Kabuki Desert is particularly outstanding. This desert, which was originally nearly 20,000 square kilometers, only has less than 200 acres of desert area shown on satellite maps. Such successful management has attracted global attention. Many countries even praised China's desert management as a model of ecological restoration at the Paris Climate Conference. As we all know, water resources in desert areas are very scarce, which means that it is difficult for trees planted in China to survive in such an environment. This makes people wonder, how did China plant so many trees in the desert? In fact, through the Chinese people's long-term exploration of desert control, the Chinese have acquired a variety of green plant planting technologies for desert control. Among them, the most common one is the straw-weaving sand fixation method. By interspersing a variety of drought-tolerant grasses, such as wheatgrass and straw, as well as reeds. Poke small square areas one by one in the desert area. This can effectively block the wind and fix part of the fine sand, and at the same time increase the water content of the sand. According to China's 2021 Land Greening Status Bulletin, grass planting and improvement of deserts have also reached 3.0667 million hectares. In particular, there are now 1.44 million hectares of land to control desertification and rocky desertification. This laid a good foundation for China's subsequent planting of trees under desertified land. Among the various methods used to combat desertification in China, in addition to the traditional planting of grass to improve the desert, innovative technologies such as clay sand fixation method and minimally invasive planting method are also included. Among them, the clay sand fixation method is derived from Israeli technology. It forms soil ridges by accumulating clay on the dunes, which effectively locks in water and thus improves the survival rate of trees. Although this method is effective, it has high technical requirements and requires precise control of the amount and distribution of clay to ensure effective utilization of resources. On the other hand, the application of minimally invasive planting method in the Kabuki Desert shows China's innovation in desert control technology. This method uses high-pressure water cannons to quickly plant saplings in tree pits through airflow. This technology is both efficient and water-saving, significantly reducing the demand for water resources during tree planting. The application of these technologies not only improves the efficiency of desertification control, but also brings new possibilities to China's efforts in ecological and environmental protection. In addition to the greatly greened Kabuki Desert, the management of the Muas Desert is undoubtedly one of China's greatest achievements in desertification control. The yellow sand that used to fly all over the sky has now been transformed into a lush oasis. This remarkable change is not only reflected in the Muas Desert, but is a common picture in many desert areas in China. According to data, China's artificial forest area reached 787,000 square kilometers in 2014 and will expand to 3.6 million hectares in 2021. All these achievements are due to the unremitting efforts of the Chinese people for more than 40 years. During this period, they have planted a total of approximately 66 billion trees. Faced with such achievements, how could China not be recognized by the world for its greening capabilities? Thanks to China's tree planting capabilities, China's efforts have been widely recognized around the world, and some countries have even called China a tree planting maniac. In fact, China's persistence in planting trees is not only for the improvement of the ecological environment, but also for the economic potential brought by greening. We must know that afforestation is also a good way to get rid of poverty and become rich. Only with adequate greening can the Chinese people be able to better carry out ecological agriculture, which will also create more tourist attractions. These are all ways that can bring tangible economic benefits to the Chinese people. This is because the Chinese people firmly believe in a saying, "Clear waters and lush mountains are worth the price of gold and silver." This is not only a manifestation of an ecological concept, but also a firm commitment to sustainable development and ecological civilization construction.